Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura and I am going to be doing the 2019 end of year reading survey. There's 24 questions and it's based on the books that I read in 2019 that I finished. So here we go. Question number 1. How many books did you read and did you meet your goal? I finished 49 books and I did not meet my goal. My goal was 60. So yes. What was the most read genre? I had half and half. I had 11 books in self-help nonfiction and 11 books in regular fiction, and that was a tie. So everything else was in all different genres. And I explained that in my 2019 goal video. The longest and shortest books you read. The longest book that I read was The Passage, and it's 766 pages. I actually started it in 2018 and I finished it in 2019. I listened to it on audiobook. I had the physical book. I was reading it along. Yes. And the shortest book that I read was actually my only middle grade book that I read. It's The Best Christmas Pageant Ever, and it was 128 pages. The favorite published book in 2019, and this book is going to come up a lot in this survey. It's The Woman Is No Man, and it was published in March 2019. A favorite debut book in 2019, and this one would be The Girls at 17 Swan Street. It's about a girl who has an eating disorder, so anorexia, and it was really good. And I looked up the author. She has one other book, but it's written in a different language or something, so I'm classifying that as a debut novel. The next one is favorite book not published this year, and I would have to say The Artist's Way. Yeah, I'm obsessed with it. It was published in 2002, and I have the audiobook, and the whole month of December I've been listening to the audiobook over and over and over again. Yes, I just don't want to move on to another audiobook. Every time I listen to it, I get something else that I get and grasp. So I've been listening to it a lot. Okay, a book that lived up to the hype. I would have to say I finally read The Woman in the Window, and it was really good. However, I did hear a lot about the author. He is kind of creepy or something. So, yes, but the book was really good. A book that did not live up to the hype, I would say Where the Crawdads Sing. I know, everybody loved that book. But to me, a book is something where it keeps my interest from page 1 to page the end. And this one, I struggled along with the dialogue. When they don't talk and they don't use the grammar correctly, it drives me nuts. So yeah, so that was it was a 3-star. I think I gave it 4. I rounded up to 4 stars. It was like 3.5 stars. I rounded up 4, I think, on Goodreads, but it wasn't as good as my other books. So yeah, a book that felt like the biggest accomplishment, I would say The Passage. That took me almost a couple of months to read because I started it in 2018 and I finally finished it in 2019. So yeah, that was a long book. My favorite character. Now, I don't really like characters that much. It doesn't really resonate with me. But I would have to say Tara Westover. She wrote The Educated, and I can't believe that she went to college and she was never educated, which was really amazing. So yeah. My least favorite character, I really didn't have one. Yeah, so. Okay, the most shocking book. or moment. The most shocking book would have to be The Quintland Sisters. I read that book. You know, I have multiples, and I read that book. It's about quintuplets that were born in the 1950s, I think, and they were treated like animals in a zoo. Yeah, I was amazed and shocked, and yeah, I was. And then I found out that it's a not. It was written as a fiction book, historical fiction, but it actually happened. And then I was obsessed because I went on YouTube and I found the videos about them, and they were really like real life people who were treated like animals. Yeah, I can't believe that. Yes, horrible. Anyway, the next one is favorite couple, and I don't have a favorite couple. Sorry. The best written book you read this year. Okay, The Woman Is No Man has to come up again. Here it is. Yep, it was my favorite book. It kept me interested throughout the whole thing. I learned about that culture. So, yeah, so I was like amazed and shocked. Okay, a book that you pushed the most to read in 2019. Again, The Woman Is No Man fits here, and I think it was my top 10. It was my top book of the year. Okay, the favorite book cover of the year, and I really didn't have one. I'm gonna go with an older book, and I thought this one was funny. The Food Love Story, and I just love the cover. It's funny. Okay, favorite book adaptation. I didn't read that many, but I think I read like 3, and they weren't my favorites. But I did read The Stranger Beside Me, and then I watched the Netflix thing about Ted Bundy on Netflix, the documentary, and yeah, it was shocking what he did to those women. So, okay, what book made you cry the most? I had to scroll and scroll and scroll, and I couldn't figure out which book made me cry. And then the book that made me cry was The Shack. I read the book and then watched the movie, and the movie made me cry. Okay, what book made you laugh the most? I would say the food. Food is a Love Story. I think that's the name of it. The Food is a Love Story. I can't read my handwriting. The Food is a Love Story. It was funny because I listened to it on audio, and you know, I'm doing Weight Watchers, so it's just quite funny the way he classifies food, and I thought it was funny. Yeah, and he's a comedian, so yeah. A new favorite author you discovered this year. I have 2 of them. I have 2 authors that I want to read more of their books. I read a book by Anita Shreve, and the book that I read was, I can't read my handwriting, Light on Snow. And the second author was Chevy Stevens, and the book was Still Missing. I really like their writing style. I definitely will be reading other books by them. I'm pretty sure I have Chevy Stevens on my TBR shelf, and I might even have Anita Shreve's books on my shelf as well. But I would love to read more of their books. A guilty pleasure read this year, and I would have to say Journalism. Yes, this book is very hard to read. I mentioned it before on my channel. I think on Amazon you can get it used, but you cannot get a new version. It's a very old book. I read it from the library, and it really was a guilty pleasure because it really forced me to think about my journaling and to add more journaling to my cheek sparrows, which you've been seeing. Yeah, I've been picking up all my sparrows and writing them and it really gave me motivation. I think I even listened to this one on audio, and I had the physical book, so yes. Okay, a favorite book you reread this year, and I would have to say The Artist's Way. And I read it many, many years ago. And when I was cleaning my craft room, I found the audiobook because I own the audiobook. I found it and I started listening to it in the month of December, and I can't stop listening to it. So, yes, and you will see it's giving me more creativity. It's bringing things to my life that I haven't been using in a while. And as you can see, my quilting will be coming back. My crocheting is coming back. Yeah, it's just bringing back so much that, yeah, and it really told me not to compare myself with others. And yeah, I really have to think about that, because I compare myself to others, and I feel like, okay, why am I not going? Why is my YouTube channel not going on? And, I have to stop comparing myself. So, yes. Okay. Sorry for that rant there. Okay. 2 more questions. What is the best nonfiction book you read this year? And the nonfiction book, I would have to say, I listened to this on audio, and it is Living in Favor, Abundance and Joy. My big word for this year was blessed, joy. I really focused on that this year, and I love his voice, and listen to it in the car, and I can listen to him over and over again. He has great motivation, and yes. So, were you happy with your reading this year? Yes and no. I was very happy that I read so many nonfiction books and self-help, but I didn't reach my goal. So next year I will probably be dropping my goal down to 52 books, because I know that my creativity is going to flourish next year, because I know I'm going to be quilting again, and I already started crocheting, and so my reading will be not put on hold. I would still be reading, but even The Artist's Way tells you in one chapter for 1 week not to read, and your creativity will come back to you. Yes, she actually tells you that, not to read, which was like, what? I can't read a book? Yes. So, yes, but it is true that I stopped reading for a few days, and yes, more creativity was coming to me. Like, I'm doing my junk journal for the month of December. Like, so much stuff, and I started crocheting again. I picked it up, and I was like, I bought new needles because I couldn't find my needles, and I bought a new yarn, and I'm starting to crochet. So yes, she is right that stop reading and stop forcing yourself to read. Creativity will come to you. So yes, she's totally right about that. And so that's it. So that's my 2019 end of year reading survey. I hope you enjoyed this. And I think I did these in the past. So if I did, I will try to find my videos and link them below. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.